So I have a story to tell, and I've really been putting it off the past couple of weeks, actually. But to tell the story, I need a drill, some drill bits, and a broken piece of a taillight that I have sanded down. So, a lot has been going on in my life the past few weeks, and there's a lot of it that I'm just not going to talk about. I just don't feel like it's really necessarily appropriate for the online world, but I will tell you, it's been an absolute couple of weeks. Where does the piece of brake light come in, you may be asking yourself? And I'll tell you. So, I almost died the other day. I was trying to cross the street to get to the grocery store, and just on this really, really, really busy street. I understand that, and it's a street that I am cautious and hesitant to cross every single time I cross it. And I was waiting at the crosswalk and just was not going to chance it. I wasn't going to try to walk out in front of cars, because in this town specifically, you just can't trust the drivers to, even acknowledge the life of a pedestrian. Just don't pay attention. And so it was 4 lanes wide. As I was waiting, a car, the 3rd lane from me, stopped. I thought, okay, well, I was going to wait till there was no traffic, but if everybody stops, yeah, I'll go. And then the 2 closest lanes to me stopped, and there was nobody in the furthest lane. And I started to go and was kind of, waving to people, saying thank you. And just as I got in front of that car in the 3rd lane, I kind of noticed something out of my periphery. And as I kind of started to turn, I noticed there was this full-size truck going at full speed, who obviously hadn't noticed the 3 lanes of stopped traffic. And he proceeded to smash into the back of the car, the first car that had stopped for me. And this is where things get really fuzzy. I remember looking down at the hood of the car as it was being pushed towards me. And then I remember moving. My body had a reaction, but it didn't really feel like my own reaction. And the next thing I knew, I was on the sidewalk, and I turned back around, and I was in a bit of a state of shock, I think. I looked at the people in the car that just got rear-ended. I looked at the driver of the truck that rear-ended the car. I looked at the people who were stopping in the last lane, and they looked shocked, and I looked shocked, and then I just went to go to the grocery store. I didn't know what to. I was like, okay, I'm alive. I'm just gonna go walk. That was strange. And then they kind of flagged me down. I thought, oh yeah, I should probably talk to the cops, who I'm sure are on their way. And sort of to wrap this up, the grand conclusion of this is everybody was more or less okay. I was definitely shaken up, but it was just a really shocking situation. And everything else that's happened that I'm just not talking about. I'm gonna take just a really, really big road trip. But first, there. I plan on hanging this somewhere in the car that I'll be taking on the road trip. As a reminder of life. I'm alive, I have a chance to experience things, and I'm going to take some advantage of that. This road trip is going to be massive. My one-way mileage is about 4,000 miles. I will be doing this in a round trip, so it'll be approximately 7,000 miles traveling from California to my birthplace in New Hampshire. And I'm going to spend a lot of time camping and hiking and thinking and writing and just spending a lot of time with myself. I'm planning on taking about 3 weeks to get across the country, and I'm going to visit a lot of national parks, and I plan on just camping and doing all that sort of thing. When I get to New Hampshire, I'm going to, of course, visit friends and family, but specifically I'm going to be staying with the bass player, Brad, in my old band from my metal days, which brings me to the next thing on my agenda here. I'm going to change the format of this channel. Everything I've done, the videos I've done previously, it was all an attempt to tell the story behind my photography. Specifically my landscape photography, because it was the one that was easiest to document. But landscape photography is not all that I do. It's a very small segment of my photography world. It's an even smaller segment of the art that I do. I produce electronic music. I sometimes write poetry and songs and that sort of thing. I play guitar, and I do street photography, and I shoot and develop film, and I do circus. I've been a juggler and miscellaneous circus artist since 2009? Oh my god, it's almost been 10 years. And to just specifically create a YouTube channel for my landscape photography is all well and good, but I've just been copying the format that Thomas Heaton and every other landscape photographer on YouTube, with a couple of exceptions, have been doing. And it hasn't really felt right to me. It hasn't felt very genuine. And that's something that now, with everything that's kind of happened this last month, I want to change that, and I want to be more genuine to myself and more genuine with more genuine with you guys as well. And I want to be more genuine with my approach and just make this channel about my art. And I realize, as far as YouTube channels go, and as far as getting subscribers and that sort of thing, it's an absolutely miserable thing to do. I'm just gonna make this about my art. And sometimes it might be circus, and sometimes it might be landscape photography, and other times it'll be Brad and I in the studio. If he's cool, I haven't actually asked him if he's okay with me vlogging our experiences, but I will. Brad, if you're seeing this video, please take this as my formal questioning of, hey man, are you okay with doing this? But yeah, so I don't know, I do apologize if you have been following my channel specifically for my landscape photography. There will be more, but it's not just going to be that. It's going to be varied. It's going to be more of my lifestyle vlog, I suppose. But I feel like it's something that I need to do, and maybe you'll still be interested in the channel. But no hard feelings if you are specifically trying to follow landscape photographers and only landscape photographers. I will harbor no resentment if you unsubscribe. But I do a lot of art, and I'm just gonna start documenting my life, and not in a Brian goes to the grocery store kind of way, but more about this trip and the adventures. I don't know, I'm at a point in my life now where I really need to focus on myself, and being honest and being sincere is a big part of that. So, to all my friends out there, and everybody that's followed my progress thus far with my photography, thank you very much. I really appreciate it, and I'd hope that you'd that you want to stick around and learn about me as a person, and all the art that I do. Maybe it's interesting to you, maybe it's not. I'm specifically going to do a project while I go across the States. It's going to be shot on my favorite camera, just about all time. And so I'm going to be shooting a film project on this camera, self-portraits in probably desolate locations. And I think I'll be vlogging a bit of that. It's incredibly autotelic. It's going to be an incredibly cathartic process, but I hope that's the purpose of it. But I'll see what I'm comfortable bringing you guys along on and kind of introducing you to. But I'd love to at least share some of it. I'll be developing as I go, and so maybe I'll do some vlogs about developing film at rest areas or something like that. I'm supposed to be leaving in like 30 or so hours. Tomorrow's supposed to be my errand day, where I finish everything else up and pack. And it's Tuesday night, and I'm hoping to leave before sunrise on Thursday. So I've got a lot to do tomorrow. I might film some of it, I don't know. I don't know that I'll have time to put a video together for that as well. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and I hope to see you in the next video, and we'll see where this little thing leads us. So, take care.